Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Before we get on with today's episode, I just want to say, as of next week I return to work and college. I do want to stick with the 2 episodes per week schedule that I'm running right now. All it means for you viewers is that we may have to change the days that I upload on, so I hope you don't mind too much. Let's get on with the video. This first clip is a case of a distracted driver. He just cruises into the central reservation, totaling his car. The guy up ahead is a little bit tired of waiting in the traffic, so the solution that comes into his little head is to go onto the opposite side of the road, against oncoming traffic. Focus on the blue sedan on the right hand side. He just plows it straight into the rear quarter of the black car, catching the back wheel, which then sends him into a comical little rollover. There's a regular topic of controversial conversation regarding whether they should retake their tests when they reach a certain age. Now of course anybody can fall asleep at the wheel, but judging by the passenger's reaction, my guess is that Grandad here has done this before. Ah, they were sleeping so peacefully there as well.
Get over! Get off! I'm okay! Get off! Oh, get off! Get off! The guy came, that white car came and hit me! Almost!
If my granddad almost just killed me by rolling off the road, one of my first reactions would not be to take off my seatbelt.
Son of a...
He just can't believe it. I really think Grandad has done this before. We're blessed here with a dual dashcam. Watch the red SUV approaching from the rear. He's in the very outside lane before realising that this is supposed to be his exit. So instead of carrying on to the next junction and coming back, he cuts across last second and slams it into the guardrail. The red pickup here has broken down. The guy that we see is a tow truck driver, completely unaware that he's about to be inches away from death. The white oncoming SUV loses control in the conditions, and while his poor driving led to the situation, he manages to save it by throttling out. Most people would brake there, sending it into a slide, which would have almost certainly caused the death of that man. I think he deserves a day off after that. This Prius driver plows through a red light, smashing into the rear quarter of an Audi. And while it doesn't look like too bad of a collision, there's probably been frame damage done there. Why is this guy already filming? Well, we don't know. The silver BMW driver loses control after driving recklessly. The passenger filming here is not happy at all, so perhaps he's been driving like a d for quite a while. This one's a little bit hard to see at first, but up ahead we have another last minute change of lane which would have resulted in a crash had the red car not been so aware of his surroundings. Nice work, red car. Because America, I guess. This crash happened in Brampton, Canada, and despite the severity of the crash, amazingly, the driver walked away with minor injuries. No idea how he was able to do that. Just look at the amount of times that he rolled. Tow trucks are heavy, so it's generally not advised to slam them into other cars. This guy gets the memo last second and instead of running the red light, slams on the anchors and pulls a sharp right. What was he doing? Did he not see the red light? Did he want to go right there? This type of crash is real easy to become victim. Hesitation can be a massive factor in crashes, and while it is always the fault of the car that rear-ends you, it's the hesitation of the front car and the lack of awareness of the rear car that causes this crash. Everybody hates cell phone footage of CCTV footage, but I've included this one anyway as it's incredibly controversial. The lady walks across the car park and manages to get hit by a VW camper van. She's not using the crossing, she's wearing very dark clothes, and she didn't look both ways before she crossed. Though in my honest opinion, the fault still lies on the van driver. I know it's dark and raining, but that excuse doesn't hold up in court for running people over. Two mild idiots here. The first one is this SUV, making a last minute lane change to take a right turn. The bigger idiot is the pickup truck that rolls in behind it, making a last second right hand turn from the left hand lane, cutting across our camera car. This looks perfectly doable. I'm positive that they've checked the depth already. And he's flooded it. I really hope there was not a horse or some kind of animal in that trailer. The human I don't care about, is his fault, but the animal doesn't deserve to get its feet wet. I'm gonna flick through several camera angles on this one. We get to watch the second Prius of the episode approach from the rear, undercut on the hard shoulder, and then cut in a little bit too early and tap the camera car. He was going for a gap that just simply wasn't there. I always have to include at least one wrong way driver in these episodes. This guy is sitting at a traffic light on the wrong side of the road. He eventually realises before the approaching traffic is able to get to him, and sheepishly turns off into the left road. If there's one thing we can learn from these clips and these episodes, it's that red lights seem to be optional in America. If you don't feel like stopping, then by all means go ahead. I mean, it's not an incredibly dangerous thing to do. Got better places to be, I'm sure. For this final clip, I'm bored with a police chase. These guys are running from the police and aren't even wearing their seatbelts. And they eventually crash it, after some poor driving that unfortunately we cannot see, as the selfie is more important here. Even after the crash, he picks up the phone. I guess his Snapchat story is more important than his freedom. As I said at the start of the episode, I'm back to work and to college next week. I will continue to upload 2 videos per week, though the day and time that I upload may differ. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching everybody, and I will see you in the next episode.